Let's speak to Jonathan Sacerdoti, who is a journalist. He's a broadcaster and a leading campaigner against anti-Semitism. Thank you for talking to us, Jonathan. What do you make of the family's decision today?
Well, obviously, I applaud the decision to apologise, but one does have to wonder how it took this long. Roald Dahl died in 1990, and as you say, they've been making rather a large amount of money from his work since then, never once previously thinking that they needed to apologise. So I'm not one for cancelling people's work because of even repulsive views like Roald Dahl's about Jews. But I perhaps think they've seen that this is a bit of a cancel culture era, and they were maybe worried about that, which is why they then met up unusually, the family, according to the report recently, and crafted this very carefully worded apology, which they then buried on their website, so it's there for plausible deniability. Either way, it is good that this has brought into the fore these well-known anti-Semitic views of his. I must take issue with what you said.
They were well-known, were they?
They've been known for years. I mean, he expressed them in 83, in 1990. In fact, the Royal Mint decided not to issue a commemorative coin in his memory some years ago because they said that he was not regarded as an author of the highest reputation, and they commented then on his anti-Semitism. So this is a man who, despite also being the author of much-loved children's works, has also been known for many, many years to have been an anti-Semite.
Do you understand why the family might have tried to put this apology in a discrete part of the website? Do you condemn them for that too?
Well, I think that is effectively one of the things I am condemning them for. It's great that they have now found a way to apologise and that they've worded it quite carefully, and it seems quite sensitive, though, of course, the article also says they pay quite a lot of money to a PR company for these sorts of things. Again, can't blame them for that. They make a lot of money off the reputation and works of Roald Dahl. So at the moment, with new films being made based on his stories, and plenty of other merchandising, which brings them in millions, it's no surprise that they want to apologise. And I hope that they mean it as well. But I think for Jewish people, it's worth saying, what does it matter? He's long dead. These are views of somebody who is quite unpleasant in many other respects as far as reports go. But it does matter because I think it gives us an opportunity to discuss these things now. And it also allows us to recognise that some of these views are still actually quite common in certain small pockets of British society, as they were then. Roald Dahl expressed some of these objectionable views about Jewish people quite recently, really, certainly within my lifetime. So I think it's definitely an opportunity for us to discuss these issues again and to question those sorts of stereotypes that he liked to peddle about Jewish people, and also the really deeply negative and horrible things he said about Jews. It's not just what you mentioned. I mean, he said there's a trait in the Jewish character that does provoke animosity, and he said that it was a kind of lack of generosity towards non-Jews, which is actually quite grotesque. That was in his trying to justify Hitler's actions. He said Hitler didn't just pick on them for no reason, when in fact Jews have contributed to British public life in almost every regard, Jewish and non-Jewish, both in terms of their contribution and in terms of philanthropy. Jews are actually, if one can generalize about an ethnic and religious group, they prioritize giving to society, they prioritize giving to the wider world, they prioritize taking a full part in the culture where they live, and also they prioritize philanthropy. These are all Jewish values. So I think it's quite grotesque in trying to defend the actions of Hitler to have said that Jews are actually mean-spirited people who don't contribute to the rest of society outside of Jewish society.
Thank you for talking to us, Jonathan. Jonathan Sacerdoti, who's a journalist, broadcaster and a leading campaigner against anti-Semitism.